that just won't stay down. At least I'll pick up a good signal. Hi everyone, it's Tash and welcome to another recipe video. And today we're making matcha palmiers. Palmier? I think that's how you pronounce it. Specifically matcha chocolate coated matcha palmier. What a mouthful. My brain still feels a little bit like cotton wool since I'm still recovering from that cold there, as you can see. I have much more energy now, still struggling a little bit to breathe out of both nostrils, but that's mostly hay fever at this point. At least I have most of my brain cells back, which wasn't very many to begin with, but I'll take what I can get. So since we're still recovering from the cold, we're going super easy again and we're using store-bought ready-made puff pastry. And it's already been rolled out for us as a bonus. I've made palmier a few times at home before and I've wanted a quick and easy dessert, snack type thing, and what I used to do is I used to just lay the puff pastry out, sprinkle some sugar on, and then roll them up from the longest edges. Apparently that's not how you're meant to do that. To get that signature heart shape, you actually have to fold it quite angularly, and then it puffs itself up in the oven. So I'm going to try that method today. It's up to you, feel free to do the roly-poly method where you're rolling both sides into the centre, but if you want the classic heart shape, folding is the way to go. At the end of the day, it's going to come out of the oven really lovely and crispy and delicious, so up to you. Matcha is going to feature twice in this recipe. Once we're going to actually roll the puff pastry up with matcha, and then we're going to add matcha to some white chocolate to make the white chocolate matcha dip. So without any further ado, let's go to the kitchen and see how it's done. The first thing we're going to do is make a bit of a mess. I have about 100 grams of caster sugar here. May need a little more, but more likely than not, we're not going to use the whole thing. And we're going to take about a third of it and we're going to sprinkle it right on our work surface. Make sure your work surface is clean, obviously. And here I have some ready-made all butter puff pastry which I'm going to unroll face down onto our sugar. Now I'm going to sprinkle more sugar on, about another third. Easiest if I do it by hand. There we go. And I'm also going to sift a teaspoonful of matcha on top. And now I'm going to grab a rolling pin and I'm going to squish it out just a little bit to make sure all of that lovely sugar on the top and the bottom, and the matcha on the top of course, is welded into that pastry. And we're also thinning the pastry out a bit too. Now, in order to get that palmier shape, instead of rolling we actually need to fold it, so we need to divide it in our heads into about 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to start folding, rather than not rolling, into the centre. We're going to do it by 6, and it can be very rough, so don't worry about exact measurements. That's 1/6, and now the other one. And now there's a bit of a gap in the middle, which is ideal because we're going to fold it one last time over in half, just like this. And this is the key to our palmier shape. I'm just going to gather a bit more sugar around the sides, take a bit from our reserve bowl, fold it over, do the same on this side. And now this is quite soft because we've been handling it a lot, so what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this up back in the case that it came in, and we're going to pop it in the fridge. Here we are, and when we put this in the fridge for about an hour, and it will solidify back up and it will get nice and hard so we can cut it more easily. If you have space in your freezer, pop it in the freezer just for half an hour. I do not, so it's going to take the whole hour for me to chill this, so let's pop this in the fridge and we'll be right back. And keep your leftover sugar, by the way, because we're still not done with this yet. When we're ready to bake, we are going to preheat our oven to 180 degrees C. Welcome back. Now this is nice and chilled out, so it should be a bit more solid and easier to cut. Gosh, they're going to be some ugly ones on the edge, but that doesn't matter, they're still going to be delicious. So we're going to take a sharp knife and we're going to cut about 1.5 centimeters, an inch, about this much, not too thin. Like this, let me just do a slightly better one. Like this. And do you remember our leftover sugar? We're basically going to dip it in, give it a light coating. I might actually put the sugar on a plate, to be honest, because this is a bit difficult to handle. And I'm going to pop it on a baking tray. I'm going to make sure there's plenty of space. I'll show you in a minute. See, I've got the plate now. Put that there. Chop it up. Rescue it. Ooh, lovely. Give it a little dip on all sides. I'm going to place it on my baking sheet. And here we are, we've made 16 altogether. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pop them in the oven for about 10 minutes per tray. We're going to start with one tray first and put one in the fridge just so it doesn't go soggy. And then after 10 minutes we're going to flip them over and cook them for a further 5 minutes. So let's start with 10 minutes first. Wow, 10 minutes is up and they're already looking amazing. And as soon as they're out of the oven, I'm going to quickly and gently flip these over. So they're going to get nice and glossy and crisp on both sides. Oh, these look amazing. Right, let's pop these in just for another 5 minutes. Wow, these are just gorgeous. Can you hear that sizzle? I hope you can hear the sizzle because someone is currently outside power washing their patio, so it's quite noisy outside. Let me get you a bit closer. While these are still hot, I'm going to remove them from the sheet and I'm going to pop them straight on my cooling rack, which is just out of sight here. You can just about see it because I don't have much space. And I'm going to let these cool down completely. Next, I'm going to make and temper some matcha white chocolate, and to do that, I've got 50 grams of white chocolate here, which I'm melting over a bain-marie. So I've got some hot water in there and I'm making sure the bottom of the bowl does not touch the water. And I'm going to add 2 teaspoonfuls of matcha to this, and then I'm basically going to melt this down until it's almost completely melted and well combined, because I'm going to give it a stir, take it off the heat, and then add another 50 grams of white chocolate and slowly melt it in and temper the chocolate that way. Now I do have a more in-depth video of how to temper chocolate without any fancy equipment and without a microwave here, so I'll put the link up here and also down below in the description so you can see more on how to temper chocolate this way. And this works with any chocolate, by the way. And I've also made matcha chocolate before, so I'll put the link to that video up here now, and of course in the description below. I'm not going to go too much into it because I've done it many times. Basically, I'm melting 50 grams of white chocolate over a medium heat over a bain-marie, along with 2 teaspoonfuls of matcha. I'm going to take this off the heat and then melt another 50 grams of white chocolate in this and gradually bring it up to temper. And that will make sure that the white chocolate sets solidly. Now all we're doing is adding in the rest of that chocolate until literally no more melts, and we have to keep stirring to make sure all of that cocoa butter is nice and smooth and evenly incorporated. Now all that's left to do, now that we've tempered our matcha chocolate, is to get dipping. And we're just going to do a little bit of one side. Make sure you shake off the excess too, and pop it on some non-stick baking paper. This is my non-stick reusable baking paper, by the way. It's fabulous, nothing sticks to it. We're going to keep doing that, then we're going to pop these in the fridge until the chocolate sets. These look so good. Look at how shiny they are from the caramelisation. Listen to this. Super crisp. I know it's not Valentine's Day anymore, but isn't this super cute and would have been cute for Valentine's Day? Any day can be Valentine's Day. I don't need an excuse to eat cute heart-shaped confectionery. And people shouldn't need an excuse to be nice to each other and show love. Ooh, as I'm wafting this about, I'm getting all of these buttery, matcha-y flavours and notes coming off of it. It's making my mouth water a bit, excuse me. If you want to see the other side, that's what it looks like. I think the best looking side is the side up the first time we flip it, so the underside gets really caramelised during that first bake, and then you flip it and that becomes the top, and I think that's the most attractive. But if you like the paler, puffier side, that's fine too. You know, I'm going to take a bite, and as usual, Here's one I broke earlier. Of course I'm going to take the chocolate side. Anyway, cheers! It was so good that the sun came out and totally threw off the exposure of my camera. Let's adjust it a bit. There we go. It's sweet, it's crunchy, it's just a little bit salty from the pastry itself. Super flaky, creamy from the white chocolate and the matcha. By all means, enjoy them without dipping them in the matcha chocolate. I will say though that the matcha flavour is quite a bit more subtle without the additional matcha chocolate because this is like double matcha. But again, it's up to you. So there you go, super quick and easy. Sounds like someone's trying to drill into my flat. Sorry about the building noise, by the way. Every time I think it's going to be over, and it's been years, then it just carries on. But I have no choice in the matter, so must I. Make these. Quick and simple, super tasty, you will not be sad. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope you'll join me next Wednesday for my next one. Get the full written recipe on my blog tashcakes.com, follow me on Instagram, I'm tashcakes.taste, find me on TikTok too, I'm tashcakes there too, but my handle is @foodandslowmotion. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more. Give this video a like if you liked it to help other people find it. Comment down below if you'd like me to make anything in particular, and I'll see you guys next time. Be good, be nice, and have a good week. It's still there!